Tier lists are back, and we're getting it started off with catchers. Next week will be first base. The following week will be second base. You get the drill. I'm going to be doing one positional tier list every single week in Major League Baseball until we run out of positions. And don't you worry, I see you down there in the comment section. Utility player tier list is coming. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. We're about 2 months into the baseball season, and if you haven't been to a game yet, what are you waiting for? That's where SeatGeek comes in. There is no better place to buy tickets right now to your favorite Major League Baseball games. Plus, when you use my code Giraffe10, you get 10% off your next purchase at SeatGeek. It doesn't matter if it's a first-time purchase or not, you can use my code and get 10% off. And SeatGeek is the best because they take tickets from all across the web and put them in one place to make your ticket buying experience as easy and cheap as possible. And honestly, my favorite thing about SeatGeek is their SeatGeek score. They rate every ticket on a scale of 1 to 10 to let you know whether or not you're getting a good deal. When you see tickets with a score closer to 10 or a green circle, that means it's a good ticket. You should look to buy those. When you see tickets that have scores closer to 1 or red or orange circles, those are tickets that you don't need to buy. You should avoid them. So again, that's where I come in clutch for you guys. Use my code Giraffe10 for 10% off your next purchase on any tickets at SeatGeek. That's code Giraffe10 for 10% off your next purchase on SeatGeek. Doesn't matter if you're a first-time buyer or not. Just go to the link in the description, download the SeatGeek app today, type in my code Giraffe10, and save yourself some money on tickets. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. But we got to get started off with catchers, and catchers are a different position this year. I think there's a lot of really good ones. We're starting to get a little bit of that bottom floor rising up, but also some of the guys at the top are falling down hard. One of those being Adley Rutschman. Adley Rutschman is playing horrendous this year. The Orioles in general have been absolutely terrible. While he's still been fine defensively, at the plate this season, Adley Rutschman has been horrible, which is weird because he's actually squaring up the ball well, but it's because his bat speed is so low. 24th percentile bat speed. He's not swinging and missing. He's not chasing. He's doing all those things. There's just no juice. There's no oomph. There's no pop in any of his contact. So he's not particularly playing that well. And on a bad Orioles team with his kind of lackluster defense as well as just being not very good at the plate, I think Adley Rutschman this season is playing pretty poorly, like in the average tier. But right now, I think we just got to drop Adley in solid. We're going on like a year and a half of him not really playing that great of baseball. And I love Adley Rutschman, but the version that we've been seeing has not been good at all. Guy's got 310 on base and a 349 slugging. That's bad. Augustin Ramirez. I mean, it's not really fair to call him a catcher. He does catch a little bit. He's horrible behind the plate. One of the worst defensive catchers that we've seen in a very long time. Bad pop time, can't throw anybody out. He's actually not that bad at framing, but he's horrible at blocking. He's just not the most athletic mover back there. At the plate, he absolutely mashes, takes war hacks up there. He's a good hitter. Right now, I'm going to put Augustin Ramirez kind of in that same tier. I'm going to put him in the solid. I know his defense is so bad, but if he's going to hit like we've seen, like he has the potential to, I do think he is a solid major league catcher. He will be starting on most teams, on a lot of teams. A lot of teams would love to have Augustin Ramirez, including the Yankees. He'd be better than what they have right now, which isn't bad. We'll talk about it in a second. Alejandro Kirk also feels like just the definition of a solid catcher. You're getting really good defense, and I guess you could make an argument that puts him into the all-star tier, but truthfully speaking, I don't think the defense outweighs what we see at the plate, which is a guy who's a contact hitter, who gets on base decently well, doesn't strike out a ton. He puts the ball in play and plays really nice defense behind the plate. The framing's been great. The throwing out runners has been great. The blocking's been great, which is pretty impressive for a guy who is definitely not the most athletic. I think you might have a debate to put him into all-star. For right now, I am just going to also throw him in solid. I hate to keep doing this, and maybe the solid tier is more average. Maybe Adley Rutschman deserves to be a little bit higher, but he hasn't been good. But Austin Wells also feels like a solid catcher. He doesn't feel like he was as good as he was last year. We're seeing those numbers drop down a little bit. The on-base percentage is under 300. It's at 271. That's super low. But the slug is not bad. The OPS is above 700. He's a great framer, not really doing much else. I think there's a debate to put Austin Wells in the average tier. I think for now, we're going to throw him in solid, but he has the ability to move down based on where I want to go. And some of these other names, I think it will all start to make sense. It's just we start off with 4 solid guys. I don't really know how this happened. This is alphabetical order, but Austin Wells goes in solid. I also changed it from saying trash to bench. I don't want to be saying these guys are trash. That's not fair. That's not nice. I'm trying to be nicer in 2025. That being said, Ben Rortvedt, you go in the bench tier. He's a pretty solid defensive catcher at times. I mean, the caught stealing is not great. The framing hasn't been great this year. It's a small sample, but he can't hit a lick. Like, he's not a good hitter at all. And he is nothing more than a backup catcher on a bad Tampa Bay Rays team. So for me, he's a bench. He's clear and obvious. We don't need to talk about him much more. I do like Bo Naylor as a player, and he is still young. He's only 25 years old. He's playing every day. He's got Austin Hedges behind him. There's times where I watch Bo Naylor, and I am thoroughly impressed. Like, he has decent bat speed. He can barrel up a baseball, and when he does, it looks really good. We just don't see it very consistently, and the numbers show. I mean, right now, he's got a 685 OPS. The framing's been good, but the rest of it has been meh. So I think right now, Bo Naylor goes in average. We need to see him take a step forward. Otherwise, we're going to start having a conversation soon about whether or not he should be the everyday catcher. Austin Hedges, he's so much better than, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of baseball, like, could you improve at that position? The answer is probably yes, but I want to see a little bit more still from Bo. I'm a believer. A Bo-lever, you could say. Okay, I'll see myself out. Cal Raleigh, best catcher in baseball, and it's not even a question. Cal Raleigh is elite, elite, elite. Shout out to TJ who's editing this. He's a Mariners fan. He can tell you all about how elite Cal Raleigh is. 19 home runs on the year, 975 OPS. Is he slow? Yes. Is he a terrible athlete? Yes. But he blocks like the best of them. He frames unbelievably well. He barrels up the baseball at crazy rates, a 23.5% barrel rate. I do not care that he strikes out nearly 30% of the time because he walks nearly 15% of the time. Cal Raleigh is such an awesome player. We respect Big Dumper in this household. Elite, 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 best catcher in baseball. I'm starting to become a believer in Carlos Narvaez. Watching him play for the Red Sox, I've been watching a lot of their games recently. At the plate, I think he is completely okay. I don't think he's going to be an 800 OPS guy. I think we're going to see that dip down a bit. But in Fenway, as a right-handed hitter, he's playing it well. He's pulling the baseball a lot. He looks like a solid hitter. Defensively, he's been fantastic this year. He is elite at pretty much every single thing you'd want, especially throwing out base runners, which is super important. Because it's a small sample, I am going to throw him in solid, but what we've seen so far this season, Carlos Narvaez is the best catcher on the Red Sox by far. We know he's going to be the everyday guy now, and if he does this for a full season, we're going to be having conversations as he's one of the better catchers in the league, because what he's doing defensively and what he's doing counting numbers-wise, statistically right now, under the hood looks a little different. He's been great. Respect Carlos Narvaez. Carson Kelly, he is absolutely mashing this year. I can't believe how well he's still hitting at this point in the season. He's got over 100 plate appearances, an OPS at 1,000. I don't know if it's going to stick, but he's also doing some really sticky things. He's not striking out at all. He's walking 4% more than he's striking out. That is disgustingly good. The barrel rates are really, really high, 81st percentile barrel rate. He's hitting the ball hard consistently. He's blocking the baseball. I mean, are we going to have the conversation about Carson Kelly All-Star? Because I think we kind of should. Right now, he is better than basically everybody on this list besides Cal Raleigh. Do I think he is a better overall catcher in the grand scheme of baseball than Adley Rutschman? Probably not. But until Adley wakes up and Carson Kelly, who's going absolutely off this year, sometimes things just change. He's in a platoon. He's playing well. He's mashing at the plate. I don't really care that he has some defensive issues. The way he's hitting, I'm going to put him in All-Star right now. It feels crazy, but that's where he's going. I'm down to get a little nuts on these. He's doing things you just can't ignore at the plate that are really, really good. For Christian Vasquez, I think it's simple. He basically is the bench guy, but they're kind of splitting time a little bit. Going to put him on the bench. He's been really bad defensively. He hasn't been framing. He can't throw anybody out. He's great at blocking, but that's pretty much it. He's a high contact, low on base guy, below 600 OPS for the third season in a row. Like, there's just really no room for Christian Vasquez on a winning team's roster anymore besides a backup catcher. And unfortunately, I'm going to say the same thing about Danny Jansen. I don't see it anymore. He's not really doing much. He is getting on base, which is nice, but defensively, he's poor. He blocks well, but he can't throw anybody out, and that's so important in baseball now with how much everybody's stealing. The bat's just not particularly good. I mean, I guess he's like average is probably where he goes. I think you can make the argument that he's benched, but for now, average, and I will say, I like where Austin Wells is. He's staying in solid. This is actually perfect, especially with where everyone else is. Dylan Dingler. I absolutely love Dylan Dingler. The guy is a defensive wizard back there. 9 blocks above average is insanely high this far into the season, especially when he wasn't the everyday starter necessarily to start the year with Jake Rogers out there. He's great at framing. He's good enough on pop time and throwing out runners, and he's hitting pretty well right now. I don't know how sustainable it is for him to be around a league average hitter based on what we see again underneath the hood, but I think Dylan Dingler alone on just the defense is a very solid catcher. This guy has a lot of value, and it's a big reason as to why the Tigers have been as good as they are. He's a huge help to them defensively, and at the plate he's been good enough. Hand up, Drake Baldwin. I was not familiar with your game as a prospect. I always get worried about these catching prospects because they almost always never pan out. Drake Baldwin is an absolute dog at the plate. Drake Baldwin's going an all-star. I said it in my predictions. Sneaky National League Rookie of the Year vote. If you followed along with me and bet, you were going to make some money because that guy is a favorite right now to win in the National League. He is mashing at the plate. He is forcing the Braves to play him and Sean Murphy in kind of a platoon, and they're both playing really well. It's really working out. He's been a big reason for the Braves' resurgence here after a super cold start. He's hitting over 300, an OPS at 900. The barrel rates are great. The bat speed's awesome. He has great plate discipline. I hate how good this guy is because he's a Brave, but you got to respect Drake Baldwin. He's been one of the best catchers in baseball Baseball this year, and they're using him so sparingly, like, they have to find a way to get him in there more, but maybe this is also perfect. But I do think right now he's one of the better catchers in baseball statistically this year. Edgar Caro, so far I haven't been particularly impressed. He is a little bit unlucky at the plate right now, but he's had some decent average exit velos. He needs to hit the ball in the air. He has an issue with that. He just pounds things into the ground because his average exit velo is pretty good. His barrel rate is horrendous. He has not barreled the ball yet, and that's important. Along with kind of mixed numbers behind the plate, I am just going to put Edgar Caro right now in average. I want to see a little bit more. I think there are adjustments to be made that can help out, and he is only 22 years old, so there's a lot of time for him to make those adjustments. It's also the White Sox. Like, they just suck. All right, Elias Diaz. I mean, he's been great defensively this year, but he's part of what's got to be the worst catching tandem in Major League Baseball. Elias Diaz bench, and where's Martin Maldonado? Where is he? I can't believe these two guys are employed, playing as much as they are, getting as much action as they can. I know that, like, they have defensive value, especially Elias Diaz, who's been great this year with pop time, throwing out runners and blocking baseballs. So maybe he's more average because at least defensively he's been great. Martin Maldonado's legit been putrid. He's been one of the worst players in Major League Baseball this year. This catching tandem has accumulated negative WAR. It's mostly because of Martin Maldonado, but they're so bad. I can't believe the Padres are rocking with these guys. Tells you how lost Luis Campusano is. Bench, both of them. Like, they're not starters. I can't believe they're starters on a Major League team. This is insane. Like, Maldonado's got a 476 OPS and bad defense. Elias Diaz has a 285 on base, 621 OPS with at least much better defense. So maybe that puts him in average. They both suck. Bench, whatever. I don't care. It's my list. Get mad. I am still a Francisco Alvarez believer. I love him, but the truth of the matter is he hasn't been what he was hyped up to be. And trying to take my Mets bias out of it, I do think right now Francisco Alvarez is just kind of a league average catcher with still a lot of ceiling. But we're not seeing him hit for any sort of power. Eric Chavez completely screwed this guy up. I don't know why he told him to take the ball to right field more, become a contact hitter. I hate it. I hate Eric Chavez's hitting philosophy. It's so bad. I want Alvarez to be full of testosterone, pulling the baseball in the air, hitting home runs. He's not doing that. Now, he has been great defensively. He's been throwing out runners. The pop time's been phenomenal. But that's not good enough right now to put him above average tier without me having Mets bias. Don't worry. I'm going to talk about Luis Torrens in a second. I'm going to gas him up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about Luis Torrens right now. I love Luis Torrens as a player. He 100% deserves to be in solid. He is awesome defensively behind the plate. There are not many catchers who are better at throwing out runners than Luis Torrens. The pop time's crazy. The accuracy is unbelievable. He's so good back there, and he's barreling up the baseball at crazy rates. They're unsustainable. It's unsustainable for Luis Torrens to be as good as he has, which is why I'm putting him in solid, and I'm not going all-star, and I definitely wouldn't go elite, but he is a legit good catcher. And right now, I think I prefer him playing more than Francisco Alvarez on this Mets team if they want to be a team that's trying to be a World Series contender. He gives the Mets the best chance to win every day behind the plate right now, which is why I had to put Alvarez down into average, and I'm bumping Torrens up to solid. He's just really good. Freddie Fermin, bench, he plays a lot because, of course, they have Salvador Perez, who's been struggling a lot this year. They want some defensive help, but he hasn't even been good defensively this year, and he definitely is not hitting well. He's a bench guy. He's a backup dude. Defensively, Salvador Perez has been putrid this year. He's got like the worst blocks above average, I think, in Major League Baseball. He's getting old. Salvi's 35, and he's still catching a lot. Still looks good at the plate despite the numbers not being there. Like, the on-base is below 300. The OPS is at 620. Right now, Salvi is probably, truthfully, a bench guy, but I believe in the barrel rates and the exit velos and that he'll figure it out at some point because he's way too good of a hitter not to. So I'm going to put Salvador Perez in average, which just like really pains my heart as a huge Salvador Perez fan. I hate to see that he's just gotten old and father time is catching up, but that's exactly where he belongs. He's not very good anymore, at least at this exact moment. It feels like the Salvador Perez like resurgence that we've seen the last couple years might be over. Gabriel Moreno, awesome. He's been so good this year. He's still not really hitting for like any sort of power, and I don't think he ever will. I think he's going to be a contact first guy who maybe at most hits 10 to 15 home runs in a season, and even then we're pushing the envelope. But the bat to ball skills are crazy good. The hand-eye coordination is fantastic, and defensively, he is one of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball. He does everything really well. I think you could make the argument for all-star for Gabriel Moreno. I really do. Do I want to put him there? Do I feel like putting him there, or is he just a solid catcher? Ooh, this one's so tough. What do I want to do? I think I'm willing to put him in all-star right now. That defense plus how consistent he's been at the plate. Again, he's not a game changer, but I think right now, like if we're looking at all-star catchers in the National League, he's a guy who's going to get a lot of consideration, so we got to put him in the all-star tier. He is better than all those guys right now in solid, outside of maybe Luis Torrens, but I believe it more with Gabriel Moreno, where Torrens, I assume, is going to regress hard at some point. So yeah, I guess Gabriel Moreno is good. I know Blue Jays fans hate me. and they're going to hate me even more for this, but Gabriel Moreno is better than Alejandro Kirk. Dalton Varsho is also better than Jose Siri, so you got me there. We'll talk about those guys later in another video. Henry Davis, I don't really know what to do with you, man. The pop time stuff's awesome, and it was at Louisville. His arm is a cannon, but he can't hit, and I don't know when he'll hit. The bat speed's great. He's not striking out, but similarly, he doesn't make consistently good contact. Ugh, Henry Davis, I'm so disappointed to do this, but right now, you are just kind of a bench player, and I don't know how we get out of this hole besides just hitting better. You need to hit the baseball hard consistently. You're way too talented to suck like you have. And I know you know that. Turn it around. This Pirates team is miserable. Henry Davis, I'm sorry, because I love Henry Davis. Big fan of his, but yeah, not great right now. Piggybacking off of that, Joey Bart, he's a good little hitter, but he's not great behind the plate. I think he's just an average catcher. I mean, at the end of the day, he had a great season last year. I don't think he's going to reach those highs like he did this season. He feels more like a middle-of-the-pack guy, and honestly is really only playing as much because it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's not a minor league catcher anymore. He's not a guy you don't want on your team, but he's not someone you feel confident in playing every single day in your lineup. Hunter Goodman. I mean, I kind of like Hunter Goodman as a player. He's definitely embracing the Colorado effect to the fullest. He's got great bat speed. He hits the ball hard, but he's bad defensively, and he's got horrendous plate discipline. So for those reasons, I think I'm just going to put him in average because I do love the idea that he takes war hacks, and when he hits the baseball, he hits it hard, and he's hitting pretty well this year. So as bad as some of the other numbers might look, Hunter Goodman still's got a nice swing. I do think he's an average catcher. I think that he would be a major leaguer on every single team. Yeah, Ivan Herrera. This is like one of the easiest throw into All-Stars. I am such a big Ivan Herrera fan. The Cardinals are playing incredibly good baseball. I don't know how, but hey, they're playing so well, and part of it's good defense, part of it's great offense, part of it's Ivan Herrera, who's been mashing this year. Just under 100 plate appearances thus far. He's got an OPS at 1,000, 429 on base percentage, doesn't strike out, doesn't chase, doesn't whiff, barrels up the baseball, great bat speed, all things you like to see in a very, very good baseball player. This elite tier is saved for those guys who have done it for multiple years, but Ivan Herrera, after a good season, maybe by the end of the year, could creep into that elite tier with how awesome he looks at the plate right now. He's a beast. JC Escarra, he seems like a great bench player. I know he's playing really well. I know he's hitting well. It's a small sample. I think that he has the ability to be an average major league catcher. Now, some of the underlying stuff isn't great, but he doesn't chase. He gets on base a ton. He's great at framing. That has value. That's good enough, and his bat feels better than the guys right now in bench, so I'm going to throw him up into average for sure. Man, what happened to Jonah Heim? He went from being like a baseball savant, StatCast darling to a guy that's just like, ooh, not very good. I gotta throw him back in bench. Like, the Heim truthers are gonna be upset, but he's really not doing anything well, and this is like the second straight season where this is happening. I think they need to have a conversation right now, and I think they have, about what they're gonna do at the catching position, because between him and Kyle Higashioka, who I'll talk about right now as well, like, it's concerning how bad both of them are playing. The OPS combined is like under 600. It's really bad. I'm gonna throw Higashioka on the bench too. He always was a backup guy who had some power, but the defensive numbers are terrible. The bat speed's not very good. He's not barreling up baseballs particularly well, not hitting them hard consistently. At this exact moment, they're both guys fighting it out in a mid-off. It's coughing baby versus coughing baby. I don't know which one's going to win, but whoever gets hot, that's who they should play right now. Jose Trevino, playing really well, doing that thing that he does where he just puts the ball in play a ton, doesn't strike out, plays completely mediocre defense. I know he won like a platinum glove, I think, a couple years ago, but the numbers have not always been the biggest fan of Jose Trevino in his career. I think he is a totally average catcher. He's playing really well right now. It's a small sample, 116 plate appearances. I don't think the 821 OPS is going to stick. Also, playing in Cincinnati helps a lot. He is average. He's solid. There's a better catcher on that team, though, and of course, that's Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson's been the opposite. In a small sample, I think the numbers are a little bit misleading because the barrel rates are unbelievable. Nearly a 20% barrel rate right now in 81 plate appearances. The hard hit rate's through the roof. The launch angle, the average exit velo, the walks are really high, but of course, he's striking out almost 40% of the time. He's blocking the ball well. I think he probably goes in the solid tier. I do think he is the better of the two catchers. I think Reds fans agree with that, too. As long as he can stay healthy, he brings a lot of value to the Cincinnati Reds team, especially on the offensive side where he does things that not a lot of players, not a lot of catchers can do, which is the hard hit rates and the barrel rates. Right now, JT Realmuto has become a defensive catcher. It's a weird world we're living in. The OPS is below 700. He's basically a league average hitter with a cannon of an arm and elite pop times. He stops the run game. I still won't give up on him just yet, even though that the numbers look pretty horrible, but he did this last year, bounced back. I'm still going to throw him in solid. I still think he is a solid catcher, especially again, because he just completely neutralizes the run game, and that's so important right now. But we are kind of going to have the same conversation with JT JT Realmuto that I had with Salvi. Is this father time catching up? Is this the end of the JT Realmuto that we once knew? Kind of felt it a little bit last year. He bounced back this season so far. Not been great for him at the plate. And that's the thing that's the scariest. Just doesn't have that same oomph at the plate. All right, Keibert Ruiz. Where are we going to put you? I mean, I think you're just average, right? Like, he's going to play every single day. He's completely fine. He's horrible. Oh, man, wait. Oh, he's so bad defensively. Wow. He's the worst end framing and blocking? Ooh, wow. That's hard to rationalize. I guess it's just because I like Keibert more than most of these guys in bench that it's hard for me to call him a bench. But whatever, it's by tier list. I'm putting him in average. But yeah, there's definitely a conversation to be had about, is the catcher the right position for him? Because he's got bad pop time, bad blocking, bad framing. Oh, he's the worst defensive catcher in baseball and he doesn't hit. Oh, sorry, Keibert, you go and bench. Yeah, I think that's the right move. Don't feel good about that. Liam Hicks of the Miami Marlins looks to be a Major League Baseball player. Doesn't strike out, doesn't chase, doesn't take a hard swing, doesn't barrel the baseball. Defensively is whatever. He's got an 831 OPS. I don't know if he's an average catcher. Here's the one thing that's super, super valuable, and you'll notice on this list, not a lot of left-handed swinging catchers, so he's going to have value. The fact that he can play Major League Baseball and swing left-handed behind the dish, perfect for platoons. I'll throw him in average. Why not? I'll give Liam Hicks some love. The Marlins have been surprisingly better at the plate than I thought they'd be. Logan O'Hoppe, what a fun catcher to talk about, because defensively, one of the worst in baseball. He is horrendous behind the dish, but at the plate, he's been one of the better catchers in baseball. Smacking, crushing. 33% K rate, though, with a 4% walk rate is unsustainable. You can't be this good unless you barrel up the ball 20% of the time, which is what he's doing. This is one of the most confusing players to rank right now because at the plate, he's doing elite stuff. Defensively, he's doing the opposite of elite. He's doing garbage, trash, terrible things. I think I want to put Logan O'Hoppe in All-Star because at the end of the day, we love hitting, and Logan O'Hoppe hits. And as much as I give the Angels and their fans and their organization a ton of flack, I'll give them the flowers when they deserve it, and Logan O'Hoppe's having a great year. Throw him in All-Star. Why not? Miguel Amaya. Stuff doesn't look pretty, but he ends up putting up decent numbers. He is a completely solid catcher. Maybe probably more so average, but I do like the changes that he's made over the last year. He's been around an 800 catcher for the last year-ish since he made those changes after the All-Star break. I think he's pretty solid. He's a great backup for sure. Patrick Bailey, he is elite defensively. He can't hit at all. He's got 492. It's so hard. There's so much value there. In the fact that he is so disgustingly good behind the plate, and I think people are going to freak out at me when I do this. Where did I put other guys that were disgustingly good behind the plate? I'm just looking at my tier list right now. I don't know, Giants fans, you tell me. Are you fed up with him having a 492 OPS? Ooh, he plays great defense, but so do so many guys in Major League Baseball that are catchers. He's average, whatever. He honestly, if he didn't have this elite best in baseball defense, he's a guy you send down by now. How much different is he than Hayden Sanger? Let's speak the truth. Ryan Jeffers, just a straight-up solid catcher. I'm off the Jeffers bandwagon where he was a barrel king for a while. He's come back down to earth. He's just pretty good at the plate, pretty good behind the dish. There's not much to talk about here with Ryan Jeffers. He's particularly boring, but that's fine. It's effective, and he's a good player. I think Sean Murphy also goes in solid. I think Drake Baldwin is better. I don't think Sean Murphy is necessarily better at anything that's super important right now than Drake Baldwin, so I'll put him in solid. He has the platoon disadvantage as well because he's not a left-handed hitter like Drake Baldwin is. The expected numbers aren't great for Sean Murphy, but he is playing particularly well, has an OPS right around 800. He's hitting for power. I think he's completely fine in what he does. He's a solid catcher. You know who else is solid too? Shea Langoliers. Solid catcher. Good defensively, good at the plate. There's nothing else to say about him. He's a pretty boring catcher. He's got great pop time. The arm is awesome on him. He's great. Good footwork. At the plate, he's 60th percentile in basically everything. He's got 700 OPS. He's got some pop in that bat. He can steal some bases. He gets on base a decent amount compared to his batting average. Totally fine. Totally solid. I kind of feel the same way about Victor Caratini. I think because of the platoon situation right now with him and Yainer Diaz, that he's playing well, but I think at the end of the year, he's an average catcher. He could start on a bunch of teams. He's usually your backup guy, so I don't want to talk too much. He's playing more because he's hitting better than Yainer. Is he a better catcher than Yainer Diaz? Absolutely not. Yainer's been horrendously bad this year, but I'm still going to throw him in solid because we've seen too many years. We've seen two basically full seasons of Yainer Diaz, almost 1,000 plate appearances where he's got an OPS around 800. He played good enough defense. He's a good hitter. He's going through some weird things out in Houston. That team is just weird in general this year, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and not drop him down too far, but also can't keep him in the same level. And then, of course, you got Will Smith, who is definitely the second best catcher right now in Major League Baseball at the plate. 967 OPS, 450 .350 on base percentage. The power numbers aren't crazy, but the barrel rates are so good. He's the underrated king of this Los Angeles Dodgers team. He does all the little things. He is kind of the on-field captain, of course, as the catcher, walking 18% of the time, striking out 17%, hitting for power, getting on base, hitting the ball hard consistently, playing good defense, catching guys stealing. Like, yeah, he doesn't block and frame well, but he throws out runners, which is probably a huge thing the Dodgers care about. They don't care about the framing. They're going to score runs. You got to stop those guys from getting into scoring position, especially with a weak pitching staff, especially with the injuries. Will Smith is so awesome. I don't need to make an argument for him in elite. He's just, he's one of the best catchers in baseball. And then as for William Contreras, while he is struggling this year offensively compared to what he's done the last few years, I still am going to throw him in elite. He's got an OPS at 800 for his career. He's a good defensive catcher. He's throwing out every single runner that's running right now. He's 100th percentile in caught stealings above average with 5. He's a good all-around player. He's struggling for the Brewers. That team in general is, but at 27, he's in his physical prime. He's still a good hitter, gets on base a ton, hits for some power, can steal bases too, and is good defensively. He is definitely the clear number 3 best catcher in Major League Baseball right now, while the rest of it, I still think is very fluid and can move within a month, can move 2 weeks from now. There are a lot more good catchers in baseball than we've seen in a very long time, which is why this list is flooded with solid to average guys. The elite, I think, is pretty straightforward. Everyone else, though, could be changing within the next month or so, as I said. So I'd love to know what you guys think about my tier list down in the comment section below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let me know what you're thinking. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. That's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for hanging out, watching this video. First Baseman tier list next week. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.